What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. I hope everyone is doing phenomenal tonight. Hope you guys have had a great Friday. You guys know what time it is, baby. It is time for another live 2024 fantasy football mock draft here at the Catch with you guys, the Catch fam. So we've got a full house already. Some of you guys are waiting, so let's get this thing underway. And we're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna talk some fantasy football. Hop in the live chat. Let us know how you guys are doing. We got Pete in the house. I'm at the 1.1. Pete's at the 1.2. Let's do it, baby. I'm taking CMC off the board.
Terrible. Why did I get? I was having such a good night until I got stuck with this pick. Terrible. I'm gonna have to go there.
Yeah, that's what I had last stream, I think, and I absolutely hated it. I mean, I didn't. I mean, it was okay. It's just a weird spot.
It's not good. I've had it before. You had it last stream. It's just, I don't know. It's not a great spot. You don't feel great about any of those receivers you're taking there at 1.2.
Well, I mean, it's like you just have to make that first decision of the wide receiver tier. But I think, which is like, you got your wide receiver one, as long as they're healthy all year. But I think as the draft goes on from the 1.2 right now, you're just having to reach to get guys, and no one's really falling to you. So it just makes you feel kind of weird throughout the draft. Well, yeah, you can turn out with an okay team. Just don't get scared of.
I already hate my team. I already hate it. It's already on the hate list.
Oh, Bijan going a little bit early tonight, the 1-6. I think the first round is still so interesting right now because it's just like, I think the first 10 or so picks, I think they're all outside of CMC. I think everyone's really close. Although now that CMC's on the cover of Madden 25, I'm a little worried.
We say this, but Josh Allen was QB1 last year, and he was on the cover last year. So
that's true. Like the Madden curse hasn't really been a thing in a couple years.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Didn't Mahomes win Brady won the Super Bowl or something? Mahomes won one of those two won the Super Bowl on the cover. So that kind of did away with the Madden curse.
Yeah, but I think that was the year that Brady got divorced, so people still counted it. But still, it
worth for the hardware.
I know.
All that matters.
But yeah, I think CMC is going to be okay. I hope so. So yeah, first round already wrapped up. We were moving quickly tonight. No idea what I'm going to do in this draft. I guess I'm going hero running back. We'll see what happens. In terms of NFL news, all we really have is the Trevor Lawrence contract extension, which I think some people are going to hate on initially. And I understand that to a degree. But I think getting in front of this right now is smart for the Jaguars for sure. Because another year or two, man.
Love, Tua, and Dak are coming up this season, and they're trying to work on Love. I heard. I settled on this was a good decision. It sucks. The number is massive. Trevor Lawrence could bust, and it could be terrible for them. But getting in front of the QB market, I think, was ultimately the right decision for the Jags.
For sure. And I think I've heard Tua might be getting extended sooner rather than later. And then it's like, that's why they wanted to get in front of the Waddle extension. And now I'm hearing that Tyreek Hill's only the Dolphins' plans for another year or two. They don't even want to finish out that contract. So they've got kind of a short window, I would say.
It feels like the window's over already.
Yeah, it might be.
There really was no window.
I worry about that team. Yeah, whatever window you want to look at. I'm not maybe seeing a Super Bowl window, but a consistent playoff contending window, But back on the board here. Let me. See, I just don't like the 1.1.
Yeah, I had to reach for ETN a little bit right there, but I was like, I can live with ETN at that spot.
I'll go Olave here.
I figured you like Olave. You're high on Olave.
I thought about just going triple running back and just doing something completely out of pocket, but I'll go Adams here. He's just I don't never feel good taking Adams, but in the beginning of the third, I'm like, okay.
I'm going aggressive.
Yeah,
level aggressive
I
at
know
running
you
back.
like that A-Chain pick right there.
A-Chain is RB2 is like great. If you can get A-Chain on the back end of the second round, like if you get one of those, if you get Gibbs, you get Bijan or Bijan, back into the first round, and then you can scoop up like Kyron or A-Chain as your second running back. I really like those combos right there.
Yeah, I'd rather get A-Chain in the third round. Like 3.2, I feel more comfortable with him. And I was like one of the biggest like A-Chain supporters last season.
If
Like,
he's healthy, he's great. I mean, if he's healthy, he's
yeah,
a top 5 back. You're gonna have huge weeks.
sure. And like Derrick Henry goes to the 2.9 tonight, and I keep saying I think Henry's ADP is going to continue to slide up, and I love I'd
He
rather
looks
take Henry than ETN or A Chain, and maybe
he
even
just he
Jacobs.
looks he looks good in that uniform. I think that's
Yeah,
why he's sliding out. He looked good. Everybody was freaking out this week.
yeah. And I just don't see how Derrick Henry has a bad season. I just don't. I don't understand it. And
The
like
miles add
Saquon,
up. The Ravens running back curse.
I guess
There
that's
you
true.
go. Ravens running back curse. Forget
But
Madden curse.
Henry has to be immune to it. I think
We
if
hope.
anyone is. And then Barkley's the other guy that goes to 2.2 tonight, a little bit earlier. I think Barkley's another guy's just gonna have a great season. So
Saquon looked also good in an Eagles
yeah,
jersey.
those guys are just went to teams that they should be on. They're much better than the previous teams they were on. So yeah, really interesting thing in terms of Trevor Lawrence is if you take his stats and you put them and wins, losses, put them right next to Danny Dimes' stats and wins, losses, they're like identical. But you guys know that I love Trevor Lawrence, so I don't really care. Um, and he was hurt a lot of last year as well. So, and played through a lot of different injuries. So, I don't know. Some people are saying T Law, maybe let him play one more season and then extend him potentially based on this last year. But I feel like either way, they're going to end up extending him. So, smart move. And
Yeah, it's gonna cost you an extra $3 million a year if you
yeah,
extend him after the season. It'll be like it's gonna be 50. The $60 million a year quarterback is coming very soon.
yeah. Okie doke. Into the fourth. Gosh, we are moving quickly tonight. Kat says Madden Curse peaked at Peyton Hillis. Those were good times.
He should have never been. That was a fan vote, I think, and they put Peyton Hillis on the cover.
That's like the greatest Madden cover of
One,
all time.
just the one hit wonder, Peyton
Yeah.
Hillis.
I don't care what anyone says.
He almost died this offseason, or
Oh
he
yeah,
almost died. He like saved his kids from drowning or something like that.
I
Something
forgot
crazy.
about that.
He's a
Yeah, that was
beast.
pretty intense.
And he worked for the CIA or the FBI after the NFL.
Yeah.
That guy's a hardo.
Shout out Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, I know, for real.
Thoughts on Scary Terry and Dynasty? I mean, if you're a win now, I think it's a good time to own him. Long term, I'm okay with Scary Terry, but he is age 28. Like he's going into his sixth season, so he doesn't feel as old as he is. But the thing with Terry McLaurin too is he's only been a top 15 wide receiver in fantasy once. And outside of that, he's finished as the wide receiver 20 or worse every season. And I don't think he's ever averaged more than 12 fantasy points per season. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's close to that. So like Terry, fine, flex player, full PPR. You know what you're probably going to get, but the ceiling I still think is not incredibly high. I think he's gonna have a good season. I do think Jaden Daniels is gonna elevate Terry McLaurin to a degree, but I'm not expecting anything crazy out of it. I think he's a good value where he's being drafted and redraft. I like him. I like Jahan Dotson too. I still like the running backs on this team and Ben Sinnett. But yeah, long term, Terry McLaurin, he's just a flex player, unfortunately. We'll see how Jaden Daniels affects things, but Uh, if you're win now, I think he's a good player to own, especially since in Dynasty, we won't be heavy at wide receiver. But
I can't believe I just had 3 straight receivers poached in front of me. I can't believe that just happened. Oh my
yeah,
god.
that's a good round of wide receivers.
I hate this so much.
A good couple wide receivers gone.
Oh man, I really wanted Devonta Smith, our guy right there. Kind of hate this. So
Yeah,
now
I'm
I gotta
looking here and I'm not feeling.
We're gonna go
Uh,
here.
yeah, it's just like this tier of running back is strange. It's like, do I?
Tier wide receiver now is terrible too.
Yeah, and like this is the thing with the 1.1, 1.2. Like, I'm going to draft two guys I like we'll take Monty, and then I'll reach a bit here, but I don't mind Keenan Allen, Higgins, Pickens, Cooper, whoever you
I,
like. But
I
you
think
guys
that's
know.
okay as your third wide receiver, Christian Kirk,
Well, I'm
typical.
taking Kirk.
I need a second wide receiver is the problem. It's put me
Yeah,
in a bad spot.
I'm probably like, well, I'll let you pick.
I'm gonna go there. Big
That's what I
contract
was
here.
gonna say. Like, I'm probably still going Higgins there. Like in the fifth, like the biggest fear with Higgins is like season starts to go on, and he's like, hey, like gonna try
Give me the
and
give me
sit
the
this
rock.
thing out.
Getting the paid.
Yeah, but I think Higgins is gonna be a Bengal going into next year. So as long as he is, and even it's like if Higgins gets traded, are we really worried about him? You know?
Unless he gets traded to Carolina or something.
Yeah, that like I'm trying to think like what teams are we 100% worried about him getting traded to? And I feel like Carolina, for example, I don't think they're really in that market after already getting
I
Deontay Johnson and drafting Xavier Leggett, you know.
And you still have Thielen kicking around down there. It's
Good
not
old Adam Thielen, yeah. But it's like, like the Giants, like they just drafted neighbors, like
Yeah. Maybe. I mean the Giant, yeah, who the hell is their quarterback?
like who would like realistically, who would Higgins like or even Ayuk for that matter, like go to? It's like they're probably gonna go to like some team that no
It
one's
would be a
expecting,
good
like the Lions, like it just like complete like
The problem is the Lions don't trade draft capital. It
yeah,
feels like
that's
they
true.
hold on to those picks. Tennessee, maybe? Maybe
Yeah,
Tennessee's in the
that
market for another wide receiver.
but gosh, they've also got, Gore,
Hopkins is getting like Hopkins getting out of there.
you
It's
think?
he's just
He
old,
doesn't want
man.
to.
He's old. He's I don't know.
He has like some business charity thing in Tennessee. I think he wants to retire there. I think he's
Well, he's gonna
chilling.
have to take. He's gonna take a restructure then, because he's making way too
That's
much
true.
money for the production he gives you.
But I'm like, yeah, like what team like if Higgins or Ayuk are truly not on their respective teams, like Denver, like what team would we really be worried about? Uh
Pittsburgh, maybe, just
Pitt, New
because.
Orleans,
Yeah.
the Chargers, but we wouldn't be like I feel like that'd be
No, I'd be
good.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Herbert. Like that's the number one receiver for Herbert. That's fine with me.
New England would be probably the worst case scenario, but I don't really see that happening either because they're rebuilding.
Yeah, they're starting. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's not terrible. I can live with
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett at
Jacoby's
quarterback.
the
That's
goat,
probably
dude.
what they're gonna do.
Cleveland, that might be an issue.
There's a lot of just different issues there.
Yeah,
He's not. I mean, Ayuk maybe.
maybe. But yeah, Higgins in the fifth round right now. Like I almost went Higgins over Kirk, but I'm biased. So all right,
Do you have a Christian Kirk jersey? You might need one.
I have him in like every dynasty league. So I like intentionally traded a first rounder like in every league last year just to draft Christian Kirk.
He's your boy. Man, he was
Uh,
electric to watch play in college.
so dude,
Electric.
Trevor is a top 8 real life quarterback.
There is not a single statistic that puts Trevor Lawrence in the top 8, probably not even the top 10.
Great hair though. Might have the best hair.
Maybe that statistic, best hair, and the ladies love him. The
Let's
ladies
see.
love Sunshine, but
Allen
I was
Mahomes.
kind of floored by those numbers.
Yeah, like I said, you put him right next to Danny
Many
Dimes. They're
times.
literally identical.
So
But I mean,
Allen
we got
Allen
Allen
Mahomes,
Mahomes, Lamar, CJ, Burrow,
Burrow.
Dak.
Yeah, Dak's better than him.
I'm tired of the Dak disrespect. And then I think it gets a little interesting because
Um,
I remember, like, are we talking about real
You're
life?
probably gonna put Hurts ahead of him still. I
Yeah.
know
Okay.
Hurts had
Sorry,
a bad
I
year.
forgot Hurts. My bad. I forgot Hurts.
Hurts, and then we're gonna be looking at like I don't know Kyler.
I was
Kyler's
about to
probably
say
better than him right
Kyler,
now.
Purdy, J Lo. Goff,
Cousins,
Herbert,
Cousins is better than Trevor. It's
Cousins,
not close.
Rodgers is still alive somewhere.
50-50. Matt Stafford? Stafford definitely
Staph
better than
infection.
definitely
Like, it's
better.
just a really weird area.
I mean,
Gardner
is he better
Minshew.
is he better than Baker? Yeah, I'd say like
Yeah.
Trevor's probably in that 12 to 13 range. He's better than I would say he's slightly above average
Yeah,
so
I think
far.
and, like, I'm his like, you guys know, I've always been really high on Trevor Lawrence, and I really expected last year to be, like, a breakout type season, and that didn't quite happen, but 2 nagging injuries a whole season too, so in real life, I like, is different than fantasy, of course, but, um and just, like, 2 years ago, I mean, don't forget that especially that playoff game against the Chargers, like, they lose to the Chiefs just barely, so it's like T Money was looking like, great franchise quarterback, and then last year happened. They somehow didn't make the playoffs. Te Texans came in and did Texan things. So let me make these picks. Oh gosh, like ugh.
You're
I'm
telling
probably
me.
still drafting Raheem Mostert, and yeah, I'll just take. Oh, there's two players. Let's go Hollywood. But
You
I like.
bastard. That's where I was
Yeah,
going. I was going
I,
Hollywood.
I'm really really high on Hollywood Brown right now. But I like Rashee Rice too. But with this
I
team, I feel like
He
a
fits
full.
better on your team, Rasheed Rice. You have 3 receivers already.
Yeah, I just I don't
Oh
know. I always
god.
want to flex. I always practice for double
Let's
flex,
go
and
here. Let's go off the table here.
let's
F
go.
it.
All right,
It's an
let's see.
overreaction pick.
Nah, I'm good with my homies in the seventh. Light quarterback draft tonight.
I was really liking my team until I've had four wide receivers sniped in front of me.
My bad. I was
Well, you would have
very.
taken. Would you have taken Godwin if he was there? If I went Hollywood first?
Uh, if you went Hollywood, probably.
Yeah, okay. So it
Yeah,
doesn't. I wasn't getting both of them. I was going Godwin, Hollywood there.
yeah.
Fun. This is
Or I
fun.
may, I may have just gone receiver. I don't know. I don't know
We
what I
might. We should just draft next to each other more often. It's
we
fun.
should. Emil says 60 million quarterback will be Dak. I won't be surprised, but I just don't know.
Ah,
The Cowboys are so weird.
Cowboys are not paying him $60 million. I can bet my life that they're not paying $60 million for Dak. They got to pay CD and they got to pay Micah. That's happening first.
Yeah. Can they just franchise tag Dak like every
No,
year?
his contract says you can't franchise tag him. He's got a
Uh,
no franchise tag clause, so he's gonna hit the open market. No, he could maybe get 60, maybe. I just don't know who's gonna. What's a team that needs a quarterback that has a roster that can win now that isn't paying people? And that's like
mm,
nobody. Atlanta was kind of a miracle for Kirk Cousins to be
yeah.
in that
Maybe
situation.
the Jets, like if Rodgers doesn't
I
pan
feel
out.
everybody's fired. I don't know. It feels like the Jets kind of blow
Yeah.
this thing up if they don't make the playoffs this year.
And like yeah, the Jets definitely feel like Super Bowl or
But
bust,
like
100%.
bust,
And they're like
bust.
a pretty young team too outside of Rodgers, and
Well, the
I don't know.
defense is getting a little old. The
Yeah.
defense, they're having to pay some people on defense
Yeah,
now.
for sure. And that contract for Sauce is gonna come up too.
And Garrett Wilson and
Yeah.
Brees Hall.
Yeah. They have a kind of a tight window there. But yeah, it's a good question. Maybe the Seahawks, they move on. They got a new coaching staff, move on from Geno, still have a
I don't
bad
know.
defense,
Yeah, I don't know
questionable
what
O-line.
they're not paying anybody, so they could
Yeah,
definitely pay a quarterback like Dak.
that'd be maybe Tennessee. Like if Will Levis really looks like crap, and they have like, I don't think that Tennessee has that bad of a roster right now.
Maybe the how about the Colts if Anthony Richardson just like gets hurt again this year and it's like
That'd be interesting.
you can't ride with Richardson. That could
That'd be
be another
interesting.
team because they're good, clearly.
Yeah, that's a good question. Huh. Let us know what you guys think, chat. Who'd you trade Terry for in Dynasty? Probably nobody because I feel like he has a pretty deflated value. I would wait and see like does the ceiling rise with Jaden Daniels or not? Because if it does, then I think you get better value. But right now, like you're on like a fringe late second round for Terry. Um, unless you find a really like wide receiver needy team, especially if they're a win now. But it's just so tough to like spitball a dynasty trade because rosters and situations are so specific. Tucci says Malik versus Tank was tough there. Well, Malik got taken right after. It is close. I kind of like going Dell and getting Allen in the 5th. I like what you did.
I like the tape for Malik has been kind of, I don't know, kind of good. He looks good.
I mean, it's not like Daniel Jones can't like support a good fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah, no, we're snapping his leg week 1, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
we'll get somebody else in there.
I just feel queasy about the Giants offense with no Saquon. Ayuk to Pittsburgh makes sense. Yeah, we've heard that one too. But I just really don't think those two guys, Ayuk or Higgins, are going to get moved. I feel like that would have already happened. But I don't know. Maybe we get closer to
Ayuk will get moved next offseason if he's getting moved.
Oh, well, for sure.
The Niners are going to give it one more go with this thing.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I guess that's kind of the nature of things now. Because I would say, like, why wouldn't you want to run it back with that team? But these guys want to get paid, and I can't really blame them. But I still feel like the Niners had to be the most complete roster. But gosh, that Chiefs offense looks really good right now too in training camp.
Hopefully, their offense is better than the oversight committee for their Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, what did they screw up?
They put the wrong seed for the Dolphins. They said the Dolphins were the 7th seed and they were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
How did that get past all those people?
I know. What do those rings cost? Like a just stupid amount of money.
Yeah, $20,000 each.
Yeah. This is like such a gross tier running back. Like I'm gonna pick Austin Eckler. I almost went Gus the Bus, and then I'm just gonna take Cortland Sutton. But good amount of QB value here. Some nice tight end value. But we're going 0 QB tonight. We're just filling out this roster.
I like it.
All flex players. Higgins will want to play with Trevor Lawrence. They've known each other since college. That'd be interesting. But
they can't pay him now. They're already paying Christian Kirk a stupid amount of money.
Hey, Kirk deserves that.
No, he's the first one that kind of like broke the wide. Like everyone was like, "What? Christian Kirk got that in the open market? What?"
Yeah, I mean the Jags just had a like ridiculous amount of cap space.
But he's been good for the contract he got. He was not that in Arizona with what he got paid.
Sure.
So it worked.
They re-signed Ingram. Gabe Davis gone.
I don't have enough. I need more time to figure out the contracts here. I'll nerd out on it one of these days. I like going through and looking at teams' cap situations upcoming.
Cousins is not better than T-Law. Dude, Cousins
is absolutely better than Trevor Lawrence the last 2 seasons. It's not even close.
Another guy that I don't understand the slander. I understand like
potential, yeah, obviously, but the numbers are the numbers.
It's different because Pete is a Vikings fan, like he's allowed to. But I mean, Cousins was like great last year before he got hurt, and the year before that was also great.
Cousins was like a top 5 quarterback before he got hurt last year. He was playing out of his mind, and he was easily a top 10 quarterback the year before.
Yeah, I just and I really like T-Law. You guys know that, but when we're just talking pure real life quarterback, it's a really tough conversation. Actually,
you have to go with you kind of have to go with what they've produced. Like, there's obviously extenuating circumstances. Trevor Lawrence is one of the greatest quarterback prospects we've seen since like Andrew Luck. He's not been that guy.
It's also like tough because it's like if we're really just gonna talk like best real life quarterbacks overall, like you probably have to put Aaron Rodgers like in the top 3. Like, you
don't know anymore. He was really bad. He wasn't good his last year in Green Bay.
But then it's like the 2 years before that, like we just forget, like not that long ago, he was back-to-back MVP.
Fake MVPs. He should not have won those MVPs. You don't think Mahomes should have reeled off a couple of those MVPs there?
Well, I'm just saying, like he was good enough to
The
win
media's
MVP.
infatuation with Aaron Rodgers will be one of those things I've never understood, ever.
It's just a tough conversation.
Joe Burrow MVP this
And
year.
then like once again, you probably have to put like if you're just talking real life quarterback play, like are we talking like the last 3 seasons, 5 seasons, or all
Like,
time? Because Matthew Stafford has to be like
I think Stafford was better than Lawrence last, like better than Trevor last year.
yeah, and gosh, going into last year, no one actually really expected Stafford to play that well because he was coming off whatever
The
weird
thumb injury
injury.
was the thumb, I
Yeah,
think. Something, I don't know.
because he only played 9 games in 2022. So yeah, it's a tough conversation to have. I still like. I'm not out on T Law.
He's like currently at quarterback 12.
But T Law Minnesota, he wins MVP last year, says
No
Cat.
shot. Trevor Lawrence can't throw the ball down the field. His numbers throwing the ball down the field are
So
jarringly bad. I
since
just did a video on this today, so like
did you?
I know the Trevor Lawrence number. They're jarringly bad. He was 24th in deep ball completion percentage, and he missed his receivers a lot.
Yeah. So after the contract, there's been like a highlight war on Reddit where like half the people are posting like really bad Trevor Lawrence highlights, and then people are trying to come in and post good ones. But and like I'm saying all this as someone who really likes Trevor Lawrence, there are some really, really bad highlights, especially from last year. But once again, I do think that people really like underestimate the fact that and it's not just Trevor Lawrence, but a lot of these quarterbacks like it's part of their job is playing through injury. And Trevor was hurt last year. Like there was like 3 or 4 games in a row, and I know this because I have a lot of shares of Trevor Lawrence in Dynasty Superflex leagues where it was like Trevor Lawrence was not supposed to play like all week. And then he kept playing, and then he finally got a separate injury towards the end of the season that kept him out. But um oh man, it's tough. I don't know. I think
He,
I think a healthy Kirk Cousins could have won MVP last year.
she was definitely looking that way. But Trevor just he struggles reading defenses. Like he went in a super simple offense at Clemson, and there's some really bad tape from last year on him reading like simple coverages, pulling out a play action. He checks down a lot. He checks down a lot.
It's a good debate. That's for sure.
Trevor Lawrence potential is through the roof. There you go. That's it. I don't know what the Raiders cap looks like. That's a good team for
That's a
Dak
good
right
call,
there.
Cats.
I like that. Let me look at the Raiders cap.
Especially if gosh, can we just get Devontae Adams a good quarterback? No disrespect. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. Who dat also says the Raiders. I agree. Ayuk stays and Debo's out. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting one is because Debo's on is next year the last year
I
of
think
that
his
contract.
yeah, I think so.
You remember when Debo got that contract at the time? That was like a big deal too.
They can't sign Dak. They have only 24 million in cap space. Who the hell they're paying Devontae Adams
And
and Max
Crosby,
Crosby all the money in the world. Those
yeah,
two are over 70 million towards the cap.
jeez. And I mean, they're probably worth it, but then it's just tough when you can't build around them.
And they're paying Christian Wilkins 34
Ah,
almost after
that's right.
this year.
That's gonna be Wilkins and Crosby is gonna be interesting.
Gardner Minshew 14 million.
He's the goat.
Yeah, Raiders have bad no cap space. That's unfortunate.
Emil says I'll take Kyler over T Law. Yeah, I think when you start to
Yeah.
get into that tier, it gets really close there.
Now I'm taking T Law like from a potential standpoint and no head assery. Kyler got the off the field stuff that I just don't want to deal with.
And see, it's interesting because like if we were having this debate like last year, like everyone for sure would be putting Herbert ahead like of all these guys. Like maybe not ahead, but
I think I'm putting Herbert still ahead of Trevor too.
Yeah, and so it's like imagine if CJ Stroud comes out this year and has a down year because you remember Herbert going like uh into last year even was like no doubt, and that's coming off a season where he was fine, but only threw 25 touchdowns, and then had a huge playoff. Like the Chargers looked dismantled in 2022. The first two seasons
We
were
all
great.
know who I blame for that one.
Brandon Staley.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
jeez.
sure. But but yeah, I'm just saying, like, what if Stroud comes out and has like a really down year or it gets hurt? It's like recency bias, I think, plays into these conversations so highly because especially with like younger NFL fans right now, like people put Stroud above like Josh Allen, for
Yeah.
example. And I'm all for CJ Stroud. I think he's gonna have a great season. But it's like,
Just chill, guys.
yeah,
Chill.
it's just it's a tough debate. Um, and then like people are really down on Burrow, and
I think that's the injury stuff, though.
yeah, exactly, which is recency biasy for sure. But just a year ago, it's like Burrow's the only quarterback who can defeat Mahomes. You know what I mean? So, other than Brady, so which is interesting. And let's not put too much disrespect on Brock Purdy's name. Okay, I'm still, go back to the streams this time last year, and I was the only guy out here defending Purdy, and I still will. I'm probably one of the only people who like the T Law deal. I think now is a great time before the market goes up, and he's already made playoffs, won a huge game, played well on the road in Kansas City. Yeah, and we both said we liked the T Law deal. We're just now having this debate: is T Law top 8 quarterback?
I don't like the deal. I like the decision. I don't like the deal. If you could have paid him 50, I think Herbert or Goff was 53. If you could have paid him that 53 number, I feel a lot better.
Yeah. Do you think it's? I don't know, because Goff takes them to the NFC Championship game or
Goff's contract historic. Goff's contract's coming up. Like Detroit can't pay him.
Oh, they haven't paid him already?
But I don't think they paid. Did they already do Goff? They might have already done Goff.
I think they got Goff. Yeah. Right?
No.
They haven't?
I don't know. I think so. I know it was coming up. They signed like 7 people. So
that's true. I swear he
yeah. Yeah, he did. 4-year extension early May.
Okay,
May 13th.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, because you just think about some of these guys who haven't really done anything in the playoffs, and T-Law's done something, and Goff and T-Law are like,
Baker's done more than T-Law though.
And here's the thing:
Baker's team were very good.
Goff, people always forget that Goff went to Super Bowl too. It's like Goff is fine.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
The other thing I think you have to look at too is like for example, Jared Goff, like he fits, he just fits that team. You know what I mean? Like he's a part of the. It's bigger than just like his performance on the field. Like he's part of the entire system and everything, culture, all that. I'm just gonna take Brandon Cooks. This team is just gross at running back. This team's so loaded at wide receiver. I like this team tonight, actually. This last pick is kind of strange, though. Screw it. Go Ricky. He's also very athletic, huge arm, monster potential, still have a better offense this year with better O-line, wide receiver core. Yeah, I'm not out on T-Law in any way. Don't get me wrong. Cat says I'll go to war for T-Law. I'm obsessed with watching his tape. Some unreal throws only a handful of quarterbacks can make.
Well, I know they're not 40 yards down the field. That's all I know.
But hey, that's good for Christian Kirk. So he gets those short and completions. Money looks high right now, but I'd rather be the team that takes a shot on him now than letting him slip away with the chance of him dominating another team because of his high ceiling.
No,
this is fair.
Nobody is gonna do the mistake. Like nobody is slipping away unless they're gone. Like you're just gonna get tagged twice. They'll franchise tag somebody twice. Like Kirk Cousins got tagged in Washington.
Here's a good one. Who would you take, T-Law or Purdy? This is tough because I will still continue to say that Purdy has benefited from Shanahan's system, but is not like when everyone's like, "Oh, you could put anyone in that system, they'll be like." Purdy made like some great throws last year.
Purdy significantly better than Jimmy G was in that system.
100%. And obviously, like they threw Trey Lance in that system, and he was
terrible.
So and I'm on record. Go find the streams from this time last year. I was not a fan of Trey Lance, and my only successful best ball teams last year were the teams that I drafted Purdy in. I have a lot of shares of Purdy in Dynasty too. So, yeah, this is tough though, because like I think T-Law on the Niners would probably be better than he's been with the Jaguars, and it's not so much like that the quarterback just automatically benefits. It's just like the Niners are straight up loaded everywhere. Like, I mean, defense is great. And
the system is very much you don't have to make decisions, which Trevor Lawrence kind of struggles to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to make tough decisions. It's easy. Get the ball out.
And there's just playmakers everywhere. Like,
but I'm also paying Brock Purdy $200,000 or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
but paying Trevor Lawrence $55 million.
For now.
Brock Purdy is not getting $55 million as a quarterback.
He might. He's the GOAT. This is tough. I mean,
this contract's coming up soon too.
It is. This is a very situational question. I guess I go T-Law. That's tough because you're like my two favorite quarterbacks. That's really close. It would be interesting to see Purdy on another team, but I believe in Purdy. I don't know. That's tough. Chat, who would you guys take, T-Law or Purdy? What's up, Rock Out? Good to see you, bro. I'll still draft Burrow. I mean, Burrow went at the 9.11 tonight. I love his ADP. All right, let me get caught up here. Are you worried about Connor and Dynasty? Yeah, but I don't really put a lot of value into running back in Dynasty anyways. So if you have drafted Connor recently in a startup mock, you probably knew this was coming, right? Like the age is getting there. Now Trey Benson's there. So, but he'll be fine if you're on a win now team, I think. T-Law on the Niners has 3 wings. There's 3 rings by now. Let's go. I will say Katz will stand by his beliefs, which I think is important.
That is. Patrick Mahomes still plays football in this league.
T-Law long term, I think Purdy better right now, more consistent, accurate, takes better care of the ball. That's probably a good way of putting it. All right, let's take a look at some of your guys' teams. Thank you guys for drafting with us tonight. Let's do it. All right, Tucci's at the 1-4 tonight. Josh Allen, Evan Ingram, you're good at QB and tight end. Henry, Connor, Singletary. I mean, I'm probably going to try and take one more running back here. But I think RB1's fine. I love Henry this year, and then you're rotating that RB2, but those guys are fine where you got them. Hill, Dell, Keenan Allen, Hopkins, A.D. Mitchell, Myers, Xavier Leggett, Jalen Polk. Yeah, like kind of got in a tough spot towards the end of this draft where he kind of kept getting sniped on like super late round running back. So, but I maybe just try to take best available guy, like maybe even Marshawn Lloyd over Jacoby Myers. But Myers a good value there, I guess. But yeah, I mean, overall, you're playing the waiver wire at running back, but things don't look too bad here. I mean, you're starting Allen and Ingram, Henry, Connor, Hill, Dell, Allen. Then your second flex, you have a lot of options: Hopkins, Singletary, Myers, maybe one of the rookies. So, team looks pretty good, but I think you know what to expect when it comes to kind of the flex situation in RB2. Chase, good to have you in the house. What's up, dude? I was about to say, did you draft no quarterback? Jared Goff in the 13th and Kelsey in the 3rd. Swift, Pollard, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd. So kind of like a 0 RB team to a degree. JJ, London, Smith, very nice. Xavier Worthy, JSN, Tavion Wicks. Yeah. Good little squad. You got a lot of upside, a lot of youth. You're starting Goff and Kelsey, Swift and Pollard, JJ in London, Devonta Smith, and then maybe Xavier Worthy, maybe JSN, maybe Wicks, maybe a rookie running back in the flex. So I'll take it. Just kind of have to see what happens in terms of those potential flex guys. But a lot of good handcuffs nonetheless. All right, Cats, did you draft Trevor Lawrence? You did not. All right. Lamar at quarterback, Trey McBride at tight end. Here's another kind of zero RB team, and you went pretty. So you went aggressive at wide receiver, and then you like got your tight end and quarterback sprinkled in there, and then just whatever you could at running back, and then Jermaine Burton. But Chase Collins, Waddle, Neighbors. I mean, you're probably good there. I like Burton in the 13th. So you're starting Lamar and McBride, and then it's like
Throw it at the wall. Somebody.
I mean, probably Gus right now would be my suspicion. And then RB2s, like I guess Jalen Warren or Tajay Spears. I do like Ty Chandler in the 11th, but yeah, I mean, you know what you did here. Like, you know what it is. So then you're starting Chase Collins, Waddle, Neighbors. Like, so I've seen teams like this really work, but usually, like, you have an RB1 in the first 5 rounds and maybe a later tight end, but you never know. It's an interesting squad for sure. All right, Mike, what's up, my dude? How are you, bro? All right, Caleb Williams and Matt Stafford. Well, I mean, this is something Mike likes to do: is draft no quarterback and then just draft whoever's there. So I think this could work. I think you could potentially get 2 top 12 guys, top 15 guys, and be able to get through. Mandrews and Komet, you're good there. JT, Mixon, Chubb, Chuba, you're probably okay there, but you really want JT and Mixon to stay healthy. Puka, Pittman, Jaden Reed, Rasheed Rice, Deontay. I can live with that. I personally would prefer like one more wide receiver, but if you go double quarterback, double tight end, you're going to get hit somewhere. So you're starting Stafford and Andrews, JT and Mixon, Puka, Pittman, Reed, Deontay Johnson, and then Rasheed Rice whenever he's playing. Chubb, Chuba on the bench. You got a tight end quarterback on the bench. I mean, this is a good team. You kind of go in the season like ready to roll and be able to play the waivers, and I think have a good squad. So I like this team, Mike. J Dubs, where you been, dude? I was drafting while drafting. Nice. Kyler in the 10th, I'll take it. Pitts in the 6th, I'll take it. Cook, Stevenson, Brooks, Brian Robinson. This is like we did our sleeper video the other week. This is like our sleeper team, Pete's sleeper team. Brian Robinson and Kyle Pitts. Anyways, Garrett Wilson, MH Jr., Debo, Dobbs, Shakir, Palmer. I think this team is fine. I mean, you're starting Kyler and Pitts, Cook and Stevenson. I love the value on those 2 guys. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., flexing Debo, then probably flexing Dobbs, but it could be Brian Robinson or maybe one of these other guys hanging around. So I do like this team. I think it looks fine to me. All right, Bryce, what's going on, my dude? Thanks for drafting tonight. The 1.11. Burrow and Purdy. Can't go wrong there. 2 studs. Kincaid, Fryermuth. Okay. Gibbs, Barkley, White, Zeke. And Gibbs, Barkley, White is.
Oof.
I saw that early in the draft. And I was like, that's scary.
That's very scary.
Metcalf, Addison, Ridley, Brian Thomas Jr., and Lockett. So interesting team. I mean, like wide receiver kind of takes a hit here, but your ceiling comes from running back and tight end, and you get 2 really good value quarterbacks. And I mean, let's see, you're starting Burrow or Purdy, I guess, then Kincaid, then Gibbs, Barkley, and then probably Metcalf and Addison, flexing Rashad White, flexing Calvin Ridley. And you still have Brian Thomas, Zeke, Lockett, and I guess Fryermuth. So I think this is a solid team to go. Like if we're talking redraft, single quarterback, if you have a team like this, or even like Mike's, where like I don't prefer drafting 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, but sometimes just going into like week 1, like you could be fine playing the waivers with a team like this, and even trading throughout the year. So I still like this team, but you need Metcalf and Addison to stay healthy, and then you need to like really establish a good flex player as the season goes on. But if Gibbs, Barkley, and White stay healthy, this team could be really good. All right. What did Pete do tonight? Mahomes. Goddard and Hawkinson
I
sticking
did
with
the double tight end stack.
did it again. I like it. ETN, HN, Kamara, Benson, Gibson. Okay. That was a nice little run at running back. Just kind of forced you to. But even, I mean, Lamb, Higgins, Godwin, JMO, Judy's not bad. But I like JMO. So I guess it depends if you like JMO or not. I still kind of feel like Judy in the 12th is fine too.
It's a weird area for wide receivers, obviously.
It is. But yeah, I mean, you're starting Mahomes and Goddard, ETN, A Chain, Lamb, Higgins, Godwin. You could flex Kamara, flex JMO. You get Hawkinson down the stretch. Benson's a great player, I think, to have on the bench and redraft. Judy and Gibson. So I think this team's solid, man.
I think I did okay at the spot.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's true.
kind of mad I
Considering,
lost out.
yeah,
Those receivers.
considering it's the 1.2, I think he did as well.
CD's gonna have to hard carry at wide receiver, but that's okay.
Yeah, but even then, I think he got a really good value on Higgins and Godwin, and I like JMO still as like a sleeper. So, and like ETN just feels like it's gonna be solid. Then HN gives you that upside at RB2. I think Kamara is like a good flex option for this team. Like I said, Benson great to
And
have.
Benson could come off. Yeah, Benson could be last year's A chain.
Yeah, and Hawkinson great there too. Like down the stretch whenever he comes back behind Goddard. So
If
sure, I like it. Bryce says I've enjoyed the mocks. Y'all do a great job. We appreciate that, Bryce. We enjoy having you. Yeah, Mahomes has really slid back tonight. That's a great value.
I mean, Lamar went right behind him. So
yeah, I mean, really, just quarterback in general. Like Allen and Hurts went, then it was just like crickets for a minute. All right, let's roast my team. Went late round quarterback, late round tight end, 1.1. Got Dak and Schultz. I can live with that. Like I do feel like if you draft from the 1.1, RB2 is just kind of like, but you have CMAC more than likely. So CMAC, Monty, Mostert, Eckler, I can live with because Christian McCaffrey is involved, right? Olave, Adams, Kirk, Hollywood, Sutton, Cooks, Pearsall. I'm actually okay with this team. I mean, we're starting Dak and Schultz, CMAC, Monty, Olave, Adams, Kirk, Hollywood, Eckler, Sutton, Cooks, and Ricky Pearsall on the bench. So I just like all those bench players. Yeah, I'd be okay with this team. Like I said, RB2, probably the worst part of this team, but I don't hate. Like I like Monty next year still, and I think Mostert and Eckler are fine values, but I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? Kirk is my wide receiver 3 and Hollywood is my wide receiver 4. Make me feel good, and I like Dak and Schultz next year. So being able to wait at quarterback and tight end, I feel good about. So here's my squad. Draft of the night. I think I ended up liking Michael's and Bryce's teams the best, which is strange because I usually don't like double quarterback, double tight end teams, but I like both those teams a lot. So I'll say 1A, 1B.
I love those 3 running backs. It's
I
so
know,
scary to look. It's just an intimidation factor to look at.
it is. Like if those guys are healthy, then like let's say Metcalf is wide receiver 15 next year, like, and Addison is wide receiver. Let's push him back a little bit, like 25. It's like you get a high enough, like it's a low ceiling still, but you get
Those
enough.
are 2 guys that can have big games. Like they go
Yeah,
100 yards and a touchdown, and that's all you need from those guys with those 3
yeah.
running backs.
And then like basically has the Jags outside of Kirk and Ingram, and I guess ETN catches. I mean, I don't know. You have pieces. You have Brian Thomas Jr. Then you have Ridley, so it's like Brian Thomas Jr. could be a big piece there too. I don't know. I just like this team. And Mike, I think Mike's like starting roster. If Stafford or Caleb are good enough, then Andrews, JT, Mixon, Puka, Pittman, Reed, Deontay with the option of Rasheed Rice coming in is nice. So yeah, I just ended up liking those teams. Cat says my team sucks. No RBs fell to me after round 4 like I hoped. Yeah, he had to go kind of hard there.
I'm sorry, I went a little aggressive at running back. Right in that spot.
Yeah, going so heavy at wide receivers is tough. It's tough to do. J-Dubs likes his team. I didn't dislike your team. I always kind of like your team, J-Dubs. Like I think your team is just perfectly fine. Kyler, Pitts, Cook, Stevenson, great value on both those guys for sure. Wilson, MH Jr. I mean, you're flexing Debo. That's great. Then, like, you have plenty of flex, like Dobbs, Brian Robinson, even Shakir and Palmer. Then Brooks down the stretch, I think, could be, Brooks and Benson, Blake Corum, kind of the guys that we're looking at in terms of rookie running backs really having big years down the stretch. So your team's very good as well. I can agree. Like your team. Not gonna lie, I think having Josh Allen and Tyreek alone would win you multiple games last 2 years. That's probably true.
Tyreek just killed you in the playoffs. Killed anybody who had him down the stretch.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about your team is lack of running back depth.
You have literally 3 running backs again, like you did last week to trigger me.
Also,
you're one Derrick Henry injury away from being a trash team again. Like, you have no running backs.
I forgot that happened last week.
Derrick Henry's better than Joe Mixon, so at least he's got that going for him.
I'm starting to rise on Mixon this year, man.
There's too many mouths. We got too many mouths in Houston. Then you got to drop somebody in Houston.
I know, but the crazy thing is, when you look at Mixon the last 3 years, he's been really good in fantasy. Like, it doesn't feel like it, but he's been really, really, really solid.
Well, they've only had 1.5 mouths to feed in Cincinnati.
I know, but I think they're going to be in the red zone a lot, which I think it could just be one of those years where I think a top 10 finish is definitely there for Mixon. But I could also see with what you're saying, where it's just like there's too many mouths to feed. So where he's going right now, I like him. Fringe RB2. But yeah, I mean, this team, Allen Ingram, Henry, and then it's just that's what worries me there. Is like, Connor and Singletary are fine when we're drafting them. Which is tough if something happens to one of those guys. And I'm not putting any bad juju on Henry's name because I'm too high on him. But Hill, Dell, I mean, got a lot of upside there. Allen, I think, is fine as a wide receiver 3. And then you figure out the flex between
this is a team that starts fast and then it could get real ugly real quick down the stretch. Like Tyreek banged up, Dolphins are terrible down the stretch of the season. Houston, who the hell knows who's getting the ball there. Connor's replaced by Benson come week 7. And then, yeah.
See, you should have drafted Javonte Williams on this team for sure. But you would have had to draft him over Evan Ingram. So I don't know. Mixon's about to get all the TDs. Yeah. I do like
Mixon. Stephon Diggs will not let that happen. Stephon Diggs will let it be known that he is catching the touchdowns.
See, that's the Texans are just so hard to read right now, fantasy wise, because like Nico, Dell.
What if we have this scenario we just put where CJ Stroud has a bad year, he progresses a little bit?
I know, and that could happen. I mean, he was lights out last year, but it could definitely happen. It's just
sophomore slump is the thing.
Yeah, defenses get more tape on you. I mean, but also we see like Lamar's sophomore year is like his best year.
Yeah, but they didn't play. He didn't start that whole first year. Plus, they're playing a first place schedule, Houston. They have to play some real teams.
Be interesting. This is gonna be a really good year of football. I think. I say that every year though, so it's always
keep
good.
Getting better. I'm not gonna argue that.
All right, guys, we will go ahead and sign off. We did our team reviews. Great mock tonight. Great discussion tonight. Thank you guys for the fancy questions, the real life football discussion as well. T-Law, top 8 quarterback. Let us know.
He should be on the thumbnail.
That should be the name of this.
T-Law top 8.
T-Law, top 8 quarterback, all caps, question mark. All right, man. We will be back sometime either tomorrow or Sunday. And yeah, thank you guys for drafting. Thank you guys for hanging out. Like I said, great mock. Pete, I'll let you sign off and we'll get out of here.
Appreciate it as always being on. Great stuff. Check out those shorts. You guys seem to be loving them. Those blind rankings. John making a fool of himself. I didn't make it easy on him whatsoever. But yeah, as always.
Today's short was a good one for sure. If you guys haven't seen it, so
Oh, it's a good ending. You like it.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If I don't talk to you guys by Sunday, and I appreciate it, Marco. I'll probably be on late tomorrow night for like an underdog draft. And Pete and I will probably stream Sunday night. So, and if Pete is alive tomorrow night, he might stream with me. But we'll keep you guys posted, and we'll be back soon. All right, love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the catch fam. Talk to you guys soon. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, saw it here on the catch. And